What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Swigger, and I have another High ELO commentary for you, featuring none other than the Voyboy, the boy wonder himself. The best part about this, though, is that he is playing Cottontail Fizz, the brand new skin for Fizz that I believe was just released today. It's been on the PvE for a little bit, but as you can see, his trident is made up of a bunch of carrots. He's wearing this adorable bunny costume. I am very much looking forward to see his ultimate come out, but it's just, you couldn't get better than this, right? Like, Voyboy playing top lane, which he is known for, and he's a great top laner. He is, of course, done with the LCS, though. He did retire from professional League of Legends. He's now focused on streaming, which I've watched, and he is a fantastic streamer. So if you guys have not watched his stream, I would definitely go and check it out, because he does teach you quite a bit about the game. But look, he gets crushed by a giant carrot. Like, how adorable is that, people? How adorable is that? So I'm very excited to be dealing with Voyboy and to be commentating one of his games, especially on a brand new fantastic skin like Cottontail Fizz. I swear to God, I've done this recording like 3 times now, and I keep on saying Cottontail Teemo just because of force of habit. But it looks like there was a little bit of action down in the bot lane, which doesn't end up amounting to anything. Janna flashing in to try to make something happen there, but sadly, everybody was just a little bit too quick, and she didn't manage to burn any of their summoners. But up in the top lane, just looking at Voyboy and his lane, it's a Fizz going up against a Riven, and now both of these champions are actually fairly well known in the top lane. They're not out of meta picks or anything like that, but the scary thing between having a Fizz versus a Riven is that if either one of them gets the first kill, I think it's going to dictate a lot of what's going to happen later on in the game. They're just going to do so much damage to one another. It looks like Voyboy taking a ton of my God, not actually dying though. And Riven didn't take any turret shots. If Riven had taken a turret shot there, Voyboy might have been able to turn that around because he is running Ignite. And thankfully for Voyboy, Riven is not running Ignite because he would have been dead there if she was. But if Riven plays, you know what, I am just going to watch this top lane, because if Riven stuns and, yeah, plays this right, she could do a hell of a lot of damage to Voyboy. But the lucky thing is that Voyboy does have 2 mana pots and also a bunch of HP pots, so he should be healthy enough to kind of stay in this lane and deal with the Riven for a little bit longer and maybe look for a kill himself if he manages to poke down the Riven a little bit. But Riven, with her shields and her lockdown and her damage and the pots that she brought to the lane, it's not looking very good for Voyboy in the early phases. As we can see, he's taking even more damage, and yeah, he's probably going to have to go B a lot earlier than he expected just because of how much damage Riven has been able to pop out. But just in terms of this matchup, I think whoever gets the first kill in the lane is going to start dominating. But it looks like we have a fight from the jungle. It's Riven coming down way before Voyboy. I think this is going to be a death for Zint. Why would you flash into the Baron pit? Where did you think you were going to go? Maybe he was trying to juke the fact that he flashed into here and they were going to follow him or something. I don't know what kind of a flash that was, but it gave the Riven an assist and the Nidalee the kill, which is definitely not good. It also took the double buffs off of Xin Zhao, which means that Nidalee is now very, very, very far ahead in terms of the jungle matchup. So I'm kind of worried for Voyboy's team just off of that. But, you know, you can never tell this early into the game. You know, it's still a gold lead, but it's definitely not insurmountable. But it looks like, oh, it is going to be enough to pick up the kill. I just went absolutely speechless there. I don't know if, oh, that was a nice little dodge of the, oh, but it is going to be a dead Xerath. But can Xin Zhao end up making something happen from this? He already used his Audacious Charge, so he's not going to be able to follow up on this Nidalee. To be honest, the Nidalee might be able to follow up on him if she lands a spear, but right now Xin is just so far behind this Nidalee that I really don't think that he can fight her right now. But luckily, during this entire thing, Voyboy has just been able to kind of go back to base, pick up his boots, come back with a lot of pots, and hopefully he'll be able to pick up some CS. But it looks like Nidalee actually landing the spear onto the Xin. He's going to Audacious Charge out of there, but Nidalee didn't even take any turret aggro because of that, because she didn't land her lunge, which is kind of interesting. I haven't really seen that a lot. But Xin is at least going to survive that one. He should probably be dead if Nidalee had connected that. But Xin just getting away with his life. And we're just going to go back and watch Cottontail Teemo again. He's almost level 6, and that's what we really want to see. He's level 5 right now, but I really want to see his ultimate with the bunny coming out and all this stuff. One thing I'll also comment on, just in terms of out-of-meta picks, Kayle in the mid lane. Kayle's now been known as a jungler, mainly. With the addition of some of the new jungle items and upgrades, she is a very, very potent jungler. But now seeing her in the mid lane, going back to that kind of AP Kayle style. But it looks like Voyboy is going to get ganked here. Kayle is level 6, so is going to use that invulnerability. But Voyboy playing this very well. Oh, it's going to go back in. This is such an error, Voyboy, buddy. He didn't get to land his Q because of the CC from the Riven, and Kayle ends up living, and Voyboy ends up dying. I thought he was going to be quite oh, but here comes the Xerath. Not gonna be enraged. That's so, oh just barely not getting the kill. It looks like Kale is just going to be able to get out of here with the help of the minions taking up the turret. Xerath is going to try to find a kill, but not going to be successful in that. I thought Voyboy was just going to be happy getting out of there alive because it's a 3-person gank. Normally you just count your blessings that you made it out of that with your life. But really getting a little bit thirsty there and trying to pick up that kill onto Kale after her ultimate was used. I love the enthusiasm from Voyboy and the aggressiveness, but sadly just not enough. So for those of you guys who don't know really about Voyboy, I'm sure a lot of you guys do. He was a top laner for a long time, before he became a top laner for CLG. He was kind of known as being a top laner until he became the mid laner for, what was it? Was it Dignitas that he became the mid laner? I think it was Dignitas that he was the mid laner for, and then he swapped back up. He's been on quite a few teams at this point. He definitely has made his rounds. He was on Curse for the longest period of time, but then went over to CLG. But it looks like that is going to be a dead Janet in the bottom lane. Don't even need to talk about Voyboy right now because it looks like there's going to be 2 kills in the bottom lane. Corki taking a lot of damage from the turret, but Soraka heals is going to be enough. Voyboy now TPing in though. The shark is going to, it is the bunny coming up with the carrot, but Voyboy is definitely going to die because he didn't manage to land his ultimate, which I got to admit looked pretty cool. Let's just rewind this thing because I kind of want to. I think we need to bask in the glory that is this ultimate. Come on! Oh man, that's epic. So even though he ended up dying, at least we're getting to see the Cottontail Fizz, right? At least it's still pretty cool to look at the skin in all of its bunny glory. So right now he's not having a very good time. He is known to be an aggressive top laner, which is probably why he went for that kill on Kale in the first place during that last gank. But you can never really count Voyboy out. He's a very, very strong lane opponent, and he's very good with kind of his late game shot calling because he was in the LCS for so long and he's been a professional player for so long. So I would love to have him on my team to actually dictate the calls that get made. But when you're dealing with a 101 Riven who already has finished her Brutalizer and you only have an Amp Tome and Cloth Armor, you're gonna have a bad time. Xin Zhao trying to find this Nidalee. Does place a ward over there, but Nidalee's already taken his red buff, so Xin is right now only level 5 to Nidalee's level 7. It's a pretty brutal experience right now for Xin, and right now there are just so many people who are a fair amount behind in all lanes, really, except for the mid lane, but even in the mid lane, Xerath has died. So it's just not overly good, and Kale has 2 assists on that one. But nice little knock-up from the Janna, stopping Nidalee mid-pounce, making sure that she couldn't get into the Janna, because if she did, that would probably one dead support. But luckily getting out of that one A-okay. It's currently 6-1 in terms of kills. 15k to basically 11k, a 4k gold lead at only 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. It's a pretty brutal stat right now. Voyboy also losing his 1 pink ward that he had, so losing all vision now means that he's fairly susceptible to ganks. Even though he has his Playful Trickster, he can get away from those things, but the problem is Riven has just so much CC that it's going to be a little bit difficult for him. The lucky thing that Voyboy does have is that Riven is running TP rather than Ignite, because I feel like if Riven was running Ignite, I've watched enough of Box streams that if he has Ignite on Riven and he has an advantage, you're going to die multiple times. So Nidalee grabbing her red buff. I forgot she stole the other red buff. Voyboy trying to get in to get some damage onto the Riven. And it looks like the ultimate coming down. Janna is here to provide some support. Does get a knock up, but it looks like Voyboy he will have enough damage, but oh no! It was the Janna who ends up picking up the kill with her. It looks like it was with her Ignite. I think they double ignited her, and it looks like Voyboy was then picked up by the Nidalee. So an unfortunate turn of events that Voyboy doesn't even get the kill onto the Riven, but at least he did get an assist. That's at least something to go back to base and hopefully pick up some sort of itemage with. I think he's going for the Seeker's Arm Guard. He's going to try to rush out that Zhonya's Hourglass, because if you can pop your Zhonya's Hourglass, normally if you max your E first, which I believe that's what Voyboy is doing, he is maxing his E first. When you use your Zhonya's, your E cooldown should be back up so you can get away from bad situations. So I do like that itemization from Voyboy to try to deal with this Riven a little bit, but you're facing a Riven that has a Brutalizer and a pickaxe with a Doran's Blade. It's very difficult to come back from that. The Ignite being used from the Kale, and it looks like the ultimate's coming down from Xerath. Not gonna land a single one. Janna's gonna try her best to take this guy down, and there we go, a long-range Q from the Xerath, picking up the Kale. Janna actually pushing the Nidalee closer to the Xerath. They're gonna try to take her down. Another great tornado coming out of the Janna, knocking Nidalee out of her pounce, saving Xerath's life. They are gonna actually back her away, which is amazing. I thought they were both gonna die there. but barely doing just enough damage and enough peel to keep Nidalee away from them. So a nice free kill picked up in the mid lane by that Xerath, 2-1-0, kind of the saving grace of their team right now. Ahead in CS and ahead in kills of this lane opponent, Kayle, who's going for a fairly old school style of Kayle. And managing, luckily, to dodge out on the big rockets. Voyboy now getting chased down by the Riven. She does have the speed boost, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. Voyboy taking quite a bit of damage just from auto attacks, really. Corki now getting jumped on by the Xin Zhao. He doesn't really have enough mana, I don't think, for a Valkyrie, so it looks like Xin, no, the flash coming out of the Kayle, it's just going to use his ultimate to disengage that one. But great little poke from Xin Zhao. It's going to probably force Corki to go B and get him out of the lane for a little bit. But Corki did also have his heal available, so I don't think he was going to die even if Xin continued that chase. But still, not a bad thing to at least send somebody B to go and pick up items. They might have to go back earlier, or they might not have enough money to finish off a big item. Corki did finish off his Sheen, though, which is a pretty big deal for Corki's. So gonna have to watch his damage. But other than that, what's really going on? Soraka doing a great job with roaming, making sure that everybody is healthy in their lanes. She currently has 4 assists. Corki has 2-0-1 right now. Jinx is 0-1-0. Janna's doing a decent job at 1-1-1, but really wish that she didn't get that initial kill onto the Riven. Wish that went to Voyboy. It looks like Voyboy is now kind of going for the Fiendish Codex. Normally you would go, if you were trying to rush your zonies, you would go for that needlessly large rod, but oh dear God. Oh my God, the damage coming out of this Nidalee. Looking at her build, she did go for that Rylai's Crystal Scepter build very early, so her damage is actually pretty damn strong and just nailing that Xerath, basically like he was nothing to her. Very, very nicely played from the Nidalee. And I don't know how you deal with a 5-0-3 Nidalee with 61 CS at 13.5 minutes into the game. That is a substantial difference to the 0-1-0 with 47 CS Xin Zhao you've got on your team, who went for the Warriors enchantment and Moby boots. So really trying to, oh sorry, Devourer enchantment. Sorry, it looks orange in there. So he's going for that Sated Devourer, but it looks like we have a gank onto the Riven. Another great knockup from the Janna, but I think a great disengage from Janna, making sure that she's healed up and that Riven's ultimate can't kill her. I think this is going to be a kill onto the Riven. Hopefully Janna doesn't take it. There we go, finally. So first kill for Voyboy, killing that Riven, but they took so many resources up killing that Riven that it might be a little bit of trouble for this Xerath to defend this turret. Luckily, Soraka taking a few turret shots, and now Xerath going fairly aggro, manages to stun the Soraka, getting a lot of damage out, does have his ultimate. Wonder if this is going to be a kill, but everybody's doing such a damn good job of dodging this, but here comes the Xin Zhao picking up a kill onto the Soraka, and going to chase through and get the knockup onto the Corki. The heal being used. Is he going to get, the flash gets him away, and I don't think that anybody has enough chase to actually catch up to the Corki. Xin Zhao is going to try for it. He does have mobility boots, so he has an insane amount of movement speed, but they do get canceled out because of that rocket. I don't know if Xin is going to have enough to get in here. He is going to call off the chase, so man, everybody doing a fantastic job at dodging out on Xerath's ultimates, which are so unfortunate because it is a major source of his damage. But they do manage to pick up a kill onto the Soraka, and when you're this far behind this early into the game, any kind of kills and assists that you can scrap together without losing anybody yourself is a big, big deal. So kill onto the Riven, kill onto the Soraka, almost a kill onto the Corki. Slowly but surely trying to claw your way out of this current pretty bad situation, and they're doing a pretty piss poor job because it's 25.6k to 19.3k. It's not looking good for the early and mid game of this red team with Voyboy, but once again, at least we have him and his sexy skin. Look at it. Look at the little cute fuzzy bunny. I love the fact that they made his trident like 3 carats. It's just fantastic, but he has to use, oh man, he used his Playful Trickster so aggressively, which is not going to help your situation, Voyboy. Yep. So, manages to at least get the damage off from the ultimate, even though he didn't land it on the Riven herself. But sadly, just not enough damage. Riven just uses her flash, finishes off the last Q, and that's going to be one dead Voyboy. 1-4-1. Nidalee jumping in onto the Xerath. Look at how much damage! Just an immediate kill from all the damage coming out of this Nidalee. Also has a Tear of the Goddess, so she's going to get so much mana so quickly. She is such a force right now. Corki picking up his 3rd kill of the game. Oh, but dear God, is the Soraka going to pick this one up? She is going to pick it up. Nidalee getting the assist on that one, but a great lockdown from the E of Soraka. Manages to get that kill, and she's just going to sit here and tank up the turret just for shits and giggles, because right now, the red team is just so far ahead. 6-0 and 5 on the Nidalee and 3-0-2 on the Corki. Already finished off his Triforce. Voyboy trying to get in there. The exhaust being used from the Soraka onto Voyboy. I guess they were actually worried about his damage. But Janna's coming in to try to give him some support. He does not yet have his ultimate available, so he can't really chase this one overly well. And to be honest, with the Soraka, I would not try to engage on this one. You can just keep the Riven so healthy while she absolutely decimates your face. Riven's already finished her Tiamat, still has the Brutalizer. Voyboy not going to get caught up in the CC of the Riven, but here comes Xerath to try to give some help. The ultimate landing onto the Soraka, and that is a lot of damage. Voyboy picking up that kill, giving him his second kill of the game. Nice little stun from the Xerath as well to give his little bit of support. So it looks like there's maybe some hope, but and did Janna just take that away from, I think she just stole that from the Xin. I'm not entirely sure what this Janna, the thing is, like, as much as I want to harp on this Janna for, like, the couple things that she's done, which a couple things have not been fantastic from her, like getting the kill with an auto attack. It might have also been the Ignite, though, onto the Riven, but she has been playing a great game in terms of stopping engagements from the Nidalee, stopping engagements of the Riven, getting great disengages off. But it's things like that that you don't want your support to do, especially when you are so far behind right now. Every single thing counts. And preferably those things not going onto your support. And it looks like Xerath trying to harm Voyboy. I don't think that's going to work for you. I think friendly fire is technically off in this game mode. But Corki now going to go onto this Janna. The amount of damage coming out of Corki. There's the disengage from the Monsoon. Going to get Corki away from that. But having to waste an ultimate just to get Corki away from you. Nidalee's going to clear out this ward. She's at 95 CS to Xin Zhao's 56. So even though Nidalee has had all of these successful ganks and Xin has been able to farm and get kind of unsuccessful ganks, he's sitting at like 40 CS behind the Nidalee. It's an incredible difference between these two right now. And it looks like Jinx is probably dead. There's the Nidalee jumping in. My word, the damage coming out from this Nidalee this early into the game. Already having the needlessly large rod as well. It looks like Voyboy is going to jump onto this kill. All the damage is going to be negated. You have to expect that coming, Voyboy. Come on now. There's the, yep, there's the Ignite, and a nice quick Q is going to be the end of Voyboy. Nice knockup from the Xin, allowing Xerath to actually land his ultimates, which is a first this game. But it looks like they're trying to get onto this Corki, but Soraka still has so much life and so much mana, so it's not really going to do anything to the Corki. Janna having to burn her flash, even though Xerath landed a very clutch stun onto the Riven. Riven still getting something from the Janna, which is all that she could ask for, really. Even though she got stunned up, still got the flash from the Janna. So just kind of miscommunication and kind of overreacting, I think, with that immediate flash coming out of the Janna. But what else can you say about this game? It's really just been a raffle-stomp. There's already like an 11k gold lead at 19 minutes. Like, it's so difficult. I'm not going to say that you can't come back from something like this, because you do have somebody like Jinx, you have somebody like Voyboy on Fizz, and you have a Xerath, all fairly good carries. And you also, my main issue that I have with this team right now has been the Xin Zhao. He's been unsuccessful in a lot of his ganks, and he also went for the Devour, which means he's trying to get to the Seda Devour, which means that he has to stack that up, which means that he has to farm all game, which means that his lanes are going to fall further and further behind. I would have expected more to go for kind of like Warrior or Cinderhulk or something like that, and try to just gank as much as possible to get your lanes further and further ahead. But here comes the Kayle going on to the Voyboy. A lot of damage coming out. Voyboy is going to get his ultimate off, but I don't think it's going to matter at all. While this is all going down, Riven is going to almost take down the Jinx, but not quite enough. And it looks like Voyboy actually escaped that one. I'm not entirely sure how. Kayle did use her ultimate to get out of that one, but probably didn't need it to escape any damage. As you can see, Kayle is still very healthy right now. Didn't have to burn the flash. Voyboy, I don't know how he escaped that one, but he managed to. And it looks like Xerath going to be caught up in... No, not caught up in this E, but is going to get caught up in a whole bunch of Nidalee damage. And, you know, that kitty cat has claws. And 7-1-6 is a pretty damn impressive scoreline for this Nid. Voyboy going to come in and try to do some damage to the Soraka, and he is going to actually go in on this one. Doesn't have his ultimate, but looking forward to Jinx coming in with a large rocket. Going to manage to take down the Soraka. Now they're going to try to take down the Corki. Not going to get Flame Choppers, and Voyboy's trying to get out of this one with his life, but does end up getting taken down. Nidalee coming in, though, and cleaning up the Xin Zhao. The great Janna Tornado is going to knock up Kayle and Nidalee, hopefully stopping this pursuit, but it's probably not going to be enough. Kayle flashes and lands a great Q, pops her ultimate, and not going to take any damage from this turret, and that is just going to be a 3 for 2 in favor of the red team. Yeah, it's just, the red team, you've got to say, has just done a great job at getting an early game advantage and then just running with it. And it's kind of what I set up in the top lane, is that you get an early advantage as either Fizz or Riven, and they are just going to snowball it. And Riven just did so much damage to Voyboy's Fizz in the early portions of the game, forcing him to go be so early that there wasn't really a lot that he could do. And then he made an aggressive play, which I think he needed to do to kind of even out the scales, because as I was saying, whoever gets the first kill is going to have an advantage. If he got that kill on Kale and managed to survive somehow, he might have evened out those odds and he might have been able to do something against this Riven, but just hasn't had any luck this game. Xin Zhao hasn't really done a lot of ganking, going for the Sated Devourer rather than another jungle item which allows him to gank more. He's had to farm all game. It's just a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. It's also unfortunate that pretty much every lane besides mid lost. It's really difficult coming back from those situations. Like, your jungler lost, your bot lane lost, Voyboy now getting caught out again. Managing to survive that one, though, with his Playful Trickster. Luckily, Playful Trickster has a fairly low cooldown when it's at higher ranks. But you can see he hasn't even really completed a main item. He's got Morellonomicon, and that's it. That's all of his damage is the Morellonomicon, which really, when you think about it, is nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was hoping when I saw the Seeker's Arm Guards that he was going to be going for that really early Zhonya's, because as you can see, he's been trying to play very aggressively and be that engagement factor for the team, because it seems as though Xin Zhao is completely incapable of doing it, and he's building so much damage that he's going to die instantly. So at least Voyboy could engage with the ultimate and his Playful Trickster, slow everybody down, do a lot of damage, and then Zhonya's, and then maybe get out with the Playful Trickster, but maybe start an engagement off. But sadly, not the case, and everybody is just doing so much damage to Voyboy. He's not surviving at all. Like, this could very well be a game-winning push with all the minions that they have. Super minion in the base. That's Baron buffed up. Yeah, this is this is a very simple game for the red team now. Xerath going to try his best to take somebody down. Misses the last shot on the Soraka, so she's not even going to go down. Voyboy getting killed for his 7th time this game, and that is going to be GG to the red team. They played that so well, but at least we did get to enjoy Voyboy with his Cottontail Fizz. Definitely not his best performance. I know that he's played Fizz a lot better than that, but hey, it's always great watching. Maybe he just didn't know the mechanics of Cottontail Fizz. You know, all of those animations are now thrown off. Maybe he was just getting used to it like we all are. So hopefully you guys did enjoy that High ELO commentary with Voyboy playing Cottontail Fizz. If you did, let that like button know. It gets a little bit lonely down there without people clicking on it. Let me know in the comment section below if you enjoy these High ELO commentaries and who you might want me to do a High ELO commentary of. If you want to know when I release videos or when I stream, or if you want to interact with me, follow me at Twiggerlol on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys in the next video.